And also, you can email me, Doug@thedougstewartshow.com. And you can also hit me on Twitter at The Doug Stewart Show. One thing I forgot to mention, and listen, in about 15 minutes, yes, we're going to do it in about 15 minutes. When we come back from the break in the next segment, I am going to replay the bit that we did, the phone conversation that we did with the great Yao Ming. Yes, a Stu's classic interview with the great Yao Ming, or a facsimile thereof. So you don't want to miss that. Call somebody, tell somebody. If you're an old school listener to the 2 Live Stews in the doghouse, all of the dogs and the poodles, tell them to log in. And something that you haven't heard in over 2 years at least, and maybe even longer, is a classic interview that we did with the great Yao Ming, or a facsimile thereof, in China. And at the Beijing Olympics in 2008, he called in and was giving us a report on what was going on over there. And I listened to it this morning, and you don't want to miss it, all right? But one thing I wanted to mention quickly is, did you watch Blackish last night? Did you give it an opportunity, where you kind of sour on it the first time and watched it again last night? So last night's episode, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, last night's episode was basically centered around him having, that sex talk with his kid and how tumultuous it was and trying to do it. And he actually walked into his kid's room and found his kid, what's the best way to put this? Trying to be family oriented on this show. He found his kid pleasuring himself. Yeah, he found his kid pleasuring himself. So that spurred the conversation he wanted to have with him, this, that, and the other. So, I thought it was a good show. Once again, I'm not one of those people that don't like the show. I think the show is pretty good. I think it's well written. I think it has a lot of room to grow. Lawrence Fishburne's character on there is pretty good, pretty funny. Tracy Ellison Ross is a great actor. So I like this show. What are your thoughts? Did you watch it last night? Did you give it a chance, or are you done with it after one episode? 404-382-0338. Right now, let's go ahead and grab a call. Who do we got? We got my man Don. Oh, we got my cuz, Donovan Wilson, calling all the way from Cleveland, Ohio. I guess he's listening to the show, and he wants to talk a little bit about LeBron being back in Cleveland, I'm sure. Donovan, what's up, cuzzo?
How you doing, Mr. It was very electrifying last night. It was a crowd. We had 33,000 in the place for the wine and gold scrimmage, and I tell you what, it built up from the announcing of the teams. They were going through all the players, and last was LeBron, the prodigal son, and it was just so loud in there. LeBron said that he really couldn't hear his name being called, but he's the last one on the bench, so he knew it was him.
Hey,
it's just a great time in Cleveland.
It's a fantastic time in Cleveland, and 16,000 for a damn scrimmage. Do y'all people not have anything more to do up there than file into a stadium for a scrimmage? That's how it's going to be this year?
Well, I tell you what, this was 1964. We have a championship here, and Cleveland fans are very prideful. They love their teams, and we had a lot of down times. So this is a lot of hope that's in the air. This is probably one of the most chances we ever had to win it all. We still have teams that go through like Chicago and Washington. But I tell you what, the pieces that have been accumulated for this team is very impressive.
All right, we're talking to, one of the biggest Cleveland sports fans in the history of the world. My wife's first cousin. So I call him cousin. He's my cousin-in-law, but he's my wife's from Cleveland, the Cleveland area, and so they're big Cleveland sports fans. So you really think y'all got a shot to win it all this year, huh?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. We have the shooters for the space of the floor. I don't know, how many people watch the FIBA games this summer. However, Kyrie Irving, he has taken the next step to the next level. He plays very well. If he will be in the MVP, also, so he learned how to become a point guard. Then we had the best power forward in the game, arguably, was Kevin Love. You got the best player on the planet with a young core of Tristan Thompson and Deion Waiters and Sean Marion, veterans like that, and Mike Miller, who shot the lights out last night.
Yeah.
He hit his first 3 threes last night. Right now, the only question for this team is a rim protector, which I'm hearing that Omeka Okafor is in the plans when he gets healthy to sign on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our defense. You know, but I think that's all going to come into play and is going to get better as season goes on.
Yeah. We man, you done had more time than 90% of the guests on the damn show. But I gotta ask you one more thing about Cleveland sports, man. I mean, what are the people? I mean, what are the streets saying about Johnny Manziel? Do y'all want him to get in there, or does he need to just mellow out on the bench a little while longer?
Well, you know, the thing about Johnny Manziel, right now it's 50-50. You have the fan base that feels that, Brian Hoyer is who he is and he's not going to get any better. And you have this young stud on the bench that, you need to get him in right away and let him learn. So it's split 50-50 on that. Me personally, I feel that his time is going to come sometime this year. I just don't know if Hoyer's going to last the entire season.
I talked a little bit earlier about the futility of Cleveland sports. What's the worst moment? Is the worst moment the drive, the fumble, LeBron leaving? I mean, it's probably LeBron leaving in general, but I'm talking about really on the field or on the court.
We've had so many with the Michael Jordan shot.
Oh yeah, over Craig Elo, yes.
That was very heartbreaking because we had a pretty good.
But y'all know y'all wasn't gonna beat the Bulls, man. I mean, come on.
So that's a dagger in our hearts. Also, too, the fumble was very crucial, and we just have so many different things.
It's just too many to choose from, huh?
Yes, even with Baltimore, taking our team.
Right.
Our
yeah.
team.
I mentioned that earlier as well. Yeah.
And then coming back and winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That should have been up.
But you know what, Donovan, and I'm gonna let you go, man. But chances are, if that team wouldn't have moved and stayed in Cleveland, they wouldn't have done the things they did in Baltimore. Because I think Cleveland sports might be cursed.
We may be cursed. Guess what? I think LeBron has taken that curse away.
Okay, all right. Hey, Donovan, appreciate the call, man.
Thank you for having me. And you guys keep it up.
All right, there he is, my cousin. He's not a little guy. He's actually a big guy. Donovan Wilson. Shouts out, Donovan. Appreciate the insight. Kind of almost like a hybrid barbershop call right there because, once again, and I said this yesterday, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I love talking to people with boots on the ground that could give me the perspective of what's going on. So, so they're kind of torn about this Johnny Manziel, Brian Hoyer thing as far as the quarterback up there. And they're elated about LeBron being back. I mean, I think most people could tell you that without even living up in Cleveland, but it's going to be an interesting year. And I love, I don't know because it's the base yellow color like my Lakers or what, but I love the Cavaliers uniform, the yellow with the burgundy writing. And it just has Cavs on it. I love that uniform. I think that's a nice looking uniform. And they're probably going to do work this year. Now, what's going to happen, though, is they're probably going to struggle early on, just like what happened with Miami when LeBron went down there at the beginning. They're probably going to struggle because they got to learn each other. Is it going to be an issue with Kyrie Irving passing the ball? Or is he going to try to be Kyrie Irving last year? I mean, he's basically got to pass that mantle on as far as the guy on the team over to LeBron. And Kyrie's a fantastic player. He is. But is he going to be, selfish? Is it going to be a situation kind of like when Kevin Garnett and Stephon Marbury were in Minnesota, where they just couldn't play together because they both wanted to be, in particular, I guess you could probably lay most of the blame because, KG is not a selfish player. Could you lay most of the blame on Stephon Marbury? Is there going to be a situation like that? Or is Kyrie Irving going to swallow some of his pride and bow down, like the rappers say, bow down to something greater than yourself? Is he going to do that? And if he's smart, and you've seen Kyrie Irving talk, he comes from a basketball family. His dad was a great basketball player. I think his dad actually even played in the pros for a minute. He understands how these things work. And he's going to have to bow down to something greater than himself. It's going to be very interesting to see if he kind of fights against that. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens if he tries to fight against that and try to, continue play as he's the main dude. And he could be the main dude for 90% of the teams in the NBA. So I get that. And if you got pride, you don't want to just bow down to LeBron James. You got pride amongst yourself. You got game. But, and I'm not even saying that he should just bow down totally, but he's going to have to pull his game back a little bit to let what some people would say is the greatest player to ever play the game do his thing. I mean, it just is what it is. And I really hated the way that Dwayne Wade, and so for so many reasons I hated that whole thing down in Miami, because Dwayne Wade was one of those players that could be talked about as one of the greatest players of all time, top 15, top 20 player of all time. So I hated that aspect as well. But Kyrie is not in that Dwayne Wade realm as it was at the time when LeBron went to Miami. You understand what I'm saying? Dwayne Wade had already won a championship, and so it was a different thing. I mean, Kyrie Irving hadn't won anything. You know, Kyrie Irving damn near had a cup of tea at Duke. He didn't play a lot of basketball in college because of injuries. So he hadn't done anything in the NBA. He's going to have to peel his game back a little bit. And let's see if he does it, or if ego comes into play and he pulls a Stephon Marbury. Now, that'd be tragic. If you're a Cleveland fan, and you've heard now, Kyrie has, he has an ego. Supposedly getting into fights and disagreements with some of his teammates. I believe it was Deion Waiters. If it wasn't Waiters, it was the other player, the other forward on that team. But yeah, locker room skirmish. So he's got ego. He's going to have to reel it back a little bit, though. He's definitely going to have to reel it back. All right, when we get back from the break, you're not even going to hear my voice. You're going to hear my voice, but it's going to be with my brother, and it's an interview that we did with the great Yao Ming, or facsimile thereof, back in 2008 when he was at the Olympics in Beijing. So you don't want to miss that. I'm telling you. It's going to be playing when you come back from the break. Pure classic stews, all right? Don't go away. Keep it locked. This is the Doug Stewart Show. So you think you're a fantasy whiz, huh? Well, prove it and make some nice scratch at the same time. Scratch is money. What you know about FanDuel? FanDuel packs the thrill of a whole season in 1 week. Play in 1 week fantasy football leagues for free money with immediate cash payouts. The money is real with no season-long commitment. That's huge because when your team starts to suck, you don't want to play no more. It's no more fun. Trade everybody. I've been there. You play when and how much you want. Deposit now and FanDuel will match it up to $200. Use the promo code COOLER, that's COOLER, and take advantage of free loot to get your game on. FanDuel, where every week is a new season. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk dudes in America? By the way, I'm talking about myself. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty, people know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your boy. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the This your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually
is over $850 a year. Join today